here with Keith Olbermann, and this is really kind of bizarre because 2 weeks ago I got a chance to interview Larry King, and now to interview you is like, for me, it's just like, what the hell? This is like crazy. But the interesting thing today about you is you're here, and ball players are gravitating to you.
Yeah.
Well, not only because of your great personality, but
it has nothing to do with my personality.
You brought something to the ballpark today. You want to hold that up and just show everybody what you got here?
Yes, that. My friend Rick Eckstein, the batting coach, was talking when I came out here the other day, and he said, you know, Trent Jewett, our first base coach, is a big baseball card collector. I said, really? He said, oh yeah, he's nuts about it. He has all the cards from the 40s and 50s, and he never stops talking about it. Everybody thinks he's crazy. I said, well, we should see who's crazy. I said, well, I'm coming out Wednesday. I'll bring him something that you really like to see. So what I brought was the original 1909 Honus Wagner Baseball card, which in slightly better condition is worth several $1 million. I'm not that crazy to travel around with one of these, but this is one of mine. And you know, the word got around fairly quickly that one of these is around, and it's nice. I mean, it's great to see that because it means as sophisticated and cynical as these guys understandably are, they appreciate parts of baseball that we appreciate. So.
But it's interesting too, because so much has been made that a lot of these guys don't know the history of the game, but yet I can take it, you know, I can speak firsthand. These guys just gravitated and their eyes lit up, and these are guys that are making multi-million dollars, some of them, and just to look at it was like a huge thrill. What's that like for you to be able to bring that joy?
Well, I did this once before with the Braves, and Jimmy Hudson and Freddie Gonzalez and even Chipper Jones were like, is that the real one? It's like, yeah, why would I bring a fake to show you? And they were all, you know, there are certain things that make even players fans again, and you know, it's something like this, or it's something to do with Mickey Mantle, or things like that. Well, they can snap back into wow, that's really cool, and they're 13-year-old kids again, just like you know everybody else is when they see something like that.
And you're talking about a 13-year-old kid. You obviously have a passion for the game, which. And I see a lot, some guys don't, that cover the sport, very cynical. Yeah. Where did that love of the game, I mean, there's you can tell, just, you know, you're soaking this in. And
from cards. I started with cards. I don't know what it was about them. My late father had a theory that I was very much into numbers when I was a kid. And he had a theory that I was a numbers guy, and all the backs of the cards were full of numbers, and the cards had numbers, and the players had numbers, and he said the numbers had numbers. He said that's what it's all about, and that's probably what drew me to it. But I got a pack of cards at a birthday party, and the year that the cards came out in 1967, they had in each pack a folded little miniature poster. And at this kid's birthday party, his name was Wolfgang Lebson, I can still remember this. Everybody else's pack had a poster in it, and mine didn't. And I was like, well, you can buy these in the stores. I'm going to go buy one and I see what it is. So the second pack of cards I ever got, I was hooked, and I never stopped.
Now, I'm going to see if you were as warped as I am. Do you remember the first card of the first pack you ever got?
I've tried to figure this out. I know it was the third series of 1967. So all of those have about an equivalent memory for me, but I'm thinking it might have been Hal Renniff, relief pitcher of the Yankees. Or Mays was in that series, could have been Mays.
I heard about that card.
Here you go, Steve.
Mine was Dick Trudzinski.
Where is it? I may.
Don't put that bag down.
We think Trent Jewett stole it.
That's real, huh?
Yeah, that's the real deal. That's the man.
Really neat.
Yep. Obviously, they cut off the edges to somebody wanted to put it in an album, and it fit better that way. And that's probably what saved it, because, you know.
Now, can you go out and get insurance on things like that?
Oh, yeah, I have insurance. They do not cover bringing them to ballparks.
That doesn't go
around dangerous coaches and
conniving
exactly.
players. Never bring your girlfriend or good-looking wife around ball players or Honus Wagner cards. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you think so.
Well, I am. I'm just impressed that you were able to write a check for it. That's something that I would never be able to do.
If you're going to invest in something, you invest in something you know, right? Exactly. It's a very liquid asset.
Just real quick, you mentioned something.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have it next to my autographed Steve McCaddy collection as well.
So that's whatever that is, another 5 months.
Those are the.
And you bought that
they're the human shields in the event of.
I'm on one card with Nolan. And when I saw it, I was on there at the time. It was $13.50, and I said, yeah, but $13.45 of it is Nolan. I'm the other nickel.
You mentioned something which spurred something in my mind, and you see you're out of this ballpark, and part of the attendance has to do with the product right now. But kids have this oversaturation of games, different teams.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the love affair, and I can relate to that because some of the guys you saw like on the Expos, you know, the Mets played them maybe 5, 6 times. You didn't know the players, and there was no SportsCenter.
Right.
So do you think maybe cable TV and the oversaturation in some way hurts the game?
Well, in terms of the cards, there's no question about it. When you think about it, the only time that we saw the players in color, the Game of the Week and the baseball cards, and Sports Illustrated when they finally went all color. I'm old enough to know Sports Illustrated from when half of the articles had just black and white pictures. So, yeah, I mean, the traditions that we understood to be sacred, Game of the Week, All-Star Game. All-Star Game. What does the All-Star Game mean? You have to invent various reasons to make it interesting now. The All-Star Game was the only time, or the only one of 2 times all year, you saw the guys from the Reds, unless they were in the postseason. And so all of these rituals, the baseball card ritual, the World Series rituals to some degree, All-Star Games, postseason, cards, these are things these are things that don't mean what they did when you're a kid of that vintage. And the fact that, you know, the cards don't do anything makes them really sort of deaf to kids now. It's like, well, what does it do? Well, it doesn't do anything. You stare at it. Or do I get hypnotized or what? It doesn't have a barcode. It doesn't wink at you. It doesn't play a game. And it's sad that whole tradition is closing in to. But on the other hand, you find kids who still fall for them the way we did. So.
And I know you got to get going now. Just 2 questions. One of them which I asked Larry King. Greatest interview for you that you had the opportunity to do, and the one that you haven't done yet that you have to do.
Well, I interviewed Mantle. I was telling this story before. I was 26 years old and working in LA. And he was selling a video of something or another. I don't remember what it was. And nobody else in LA television wanted to go and interview him. And I thought, well, my God, at least it's a feature for a weekend show. And I had 20 minutes with him. And about 19 minutes into the interview, I said, I know we have to wrap this up because you have to go. Oh, no, I'm really enjoying it. Let's go a little further. Whatever you got, I've got the time. I got the time. The guy said, yeah, you got the time. I went, holy, okay. So we went another 40 minutes, and at the end of it, he was talking about how if he'd known he was, you know, he was going to live that long, he would have taken better care of himself and blah, blah, blah. And I said, but you did well. And he goes, we could have gone better. And I used it in the obituary. And at the end of the interview, Mickey Mantle said to me, that was a great interview. Can you give me some pointers? Because I'm going to do some cable broadcasts for the Yankees next year. Give me some. I love that way that interview flowed from one thing to another. And I just went, yeah. Because when I was a kid and became a fan of baseball, my folks bought seats behind first base at Yankee Stadium because he was playing first base the last 2 years. And they said, all the thrills you'll ever have watching baseball, watching him play and being able to say you saw him will be your greatest. This will show him the most to you. And the idea that he was asking me for advice on something I actually knew about was, to this day, it still gives me chills. So that's clearly it.
And the one that you haven't done that you have to do.
Honest to God, I need to sit down with my friend Bob Wolf someday and just go through more the broadcasters and the players, because he's already done interviews. But I want to know about the guys who are beginning to fall off all the radar screens. I want to know about the sportscasters of the 30s. I want to know about, he would have known about, if not known, Graham McNamee. I want to know about Ted Husing. I want to know about Bill Stern. I want to sit down with him and get those things and put them all on tape somehow. And
have you done Scully?
I've talked, yeah, I know Vin. Last time I was in LA, we had dinner, but I've never sat him down and done it because he's all business at the ballpark. he does 2 hours of prep for every one of those games. He still does it. It's an amazing thing to see. So I've talked to him, but I've interviewed him. I interviewed him once or twice at ESPN, and that we sort of covered most of what I wanted to cover with him.
And what's on the radar for you? Do you have any specific plans?
Yes, I do, and I can't tell you any of them.
Soon?
I hope so, yes.
All right.
I'm expecting it. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you so much.